Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course, the Portugal Club, where we're asking the Portuguese citizenship test question of the day, number 32. It's a nice, easy one, but somebody's voted already. But for those of you clever dickies who know the answer when it comes to a particular river and a particular city in Portugal, what about the other two rivers mentioned? Do you know which cities they run through as well? Who's that who's already voted? Nice one, Virginia. Lovely to see you over there at the Portugal Club and guessing that. And we will delve into yesterday's question as well. What is the name of Portugal's sparkling wine? The Sparkling Woon. That was quite a nice turnout for the voting yesterday. The word licoroso, or the subject of licoroso, came up, so we'll have a little look at what that meant. I thought it was something to do with licorice flavoured booze, but no. It means something entirely different. So every day is a school day at the Portugal Club and here in Portugal, of course. What have you learned just recently? Do let me know in the chat. I think it's another one of those sleepy mornings this morning. Good morning to you, T-Duck. Bon dia, alegria, gumpers is your message to everybody this morning, as it is with Mike as well in Miranda. Foggy morning in Miranda, Mike, or nice and clear, the sort that has you shouting from the rooftops a good morning.
Bom dia, Portugal!
Oh, yeah. And Nuno's going to be joining us at around 1:30 the hour. It is, isn't it? It's very foggy and sleepy here on the Silver Coast for sure. Sleepy, yes. Just woke up. Right. Nuno, good to see you already. Good morning, everyone. Nuno joining us at around 8:30 this morning. And we've got Raquel joining us before that. Oh, thank you to Raquel for helping us start our business finally. And I wonder if I can find them. We did settle on a name. It's a brilliant name, particularly with Mrs. M in mind. And it was chosen from 3 absolutely hilarious names from a list of incredibly hilarious names. It's still summer in Portugal, by the way. It is actually. I say this a lot, and I'm so glad to be able to say it. It's a beautiful autumn here in Portugal, but actually, as Nuno points out, there it's still technically a summer, and it's still Monday. It's still the early hours of Tuesday for T-Duck as well. A simple oi from Andero this morning. I've quoted you. I've mentioned you in my Portugal resident piece today. If you want to buy that and save it for the grandkids there, Andero, you're mentioned as Andero and by Randy as well. And it's your tip-off about Dimitri, who I've written about. Well, a little bit about Dimitri, mainly about the I'm a website. That's such a great idea, this idea of crowdfunding a fit for purpose I'm a website. Maybe we'll talk to Raquel and Nuno about that, about the feasibility of doing so, if only to sort of embarrass the government a little bit into spending a bit more money and having a site that actually works for people. More on that as well, because the 15th of October is a significant day in renewals. I'll go into that. Sorry, it's a little bit stressful, perhaps, anxiety provoking, but of course we never just stir it up. We try and offer positive and practical solutions as well. And that's what we've been doing over at the Portugal Club with a new IMA support group thread, which I think has been of some benefit to one of our gumpers already. Thanks, Mike, for that picture as well. Ben Austin also joining us from the train to Estoril. I think I know where you're going. Good job on Monday night. If you could bring that to the attention of Marion, that would be awesome, Ben. Thank you for joining us. Of all the podcasts you could be listening to as a young fellow this morning, you're choosing to hang out with us, for which I'm truly grateful. Here's the view in Miranda de Cover. I love receiving these. 913-590-303. Let's take your comment out of the way for just a moment there. Beautiful morning shaping up in central Portugal. Ooh, that looks nice. Looking out of my window this morning, we had the Silver Coast mist. It was still dark as I was drinking from the handmade cup. Not a euphemism, of course. Truly, I want to get in touch with the company that made that handmade cup that I shared with you yesterday. And yes, I sat there and watched it become light. My neighbour, though, I've got a bit of visual pollution. One of my neighbours has got a red light that flashes on his on his. This sounds really sounds like Howard Hughes complaining, doesn't it, about something very particular and specific. One of my neighbours got a flashing red light on his alarm box outside the house, which does rather ruin the mood first thing in the morning. Oh, while we're in the picture deck, by the way, look at these favourite colas of European countries. And Portugal, well done, Portugal, for being a notable exception to the domination of cola drinks. And Compal juice, fruit juice, is favoured, generally speaking, by the Portuguese over the stainless steel cleanser that is known as cola drinks, Pepsi or Coke. More if I do drink it, and I do from time to time, I prefer the Coke over the Pepsi. Always have done. But there's the Portuguese eschew both, it would appear, in preference for the Compal, the national Compal fruit drink. And there is one other country there that's going with a couple that are going for fruit. Is that somebody drinking olive oil or red wine or beer instead of cola there? But there you get to see it's a cola dominated landscape. And do you remember Jacqueline from the mortgage company, whose grandfather was in a partnership? He was a chemist, which is where I think a lot of these drinks begin, right? The tonics and the sodas, they begin in the apothecary. And her grandfather, a Dutchman, decided he would try to emulate one of these cola drinks that seem to be all the celarage in the Estados Unidos, and decided to make his own. Got a visit from the Americans. Back off. Leave it, or you'll be hearing from us again. I don't think his cola making dreams went any further than that. But well done, Portugal, on preferring a fruit juice. Yes, and I know there's still a lot of sugar in those in those drinks as well. Battery acid, that's another way of refer. Has anyone ever tried that? I mean, it is good, isn't it, for all sorts of cleansing? And I suspect it doesn't cleanse your innards as much as it might do certain metal products in our culture. Matty's here as well. Hold on a minute, where have I gone? Let me get myself back on the screen. Show a bit of let's get Terence on the screen with us this morning. His cheerful little face, fantastic. Oh, and the president as well. We can have the president on. We'll have to change that soon. We'll have a new president in the new year. Good morning to you, Matty. Good to see you, and Gemini as well. Bon dia, alegria a todos e feliz quarta-feira. Happy Hump Day, of course. Yes, and cola rust remover indeed. Have you actually used it for that though? I know that's the kind of the word on the street, but have you actually done that? Right, a Portuguese citizenship test question. It's a nice easy one. You will not be challenged too much by this, I suspect, everybody who's with us this morning. Bringing that onto the screen now in anticipation of Raquel and Nuno joining us. If you've got questions about what it is to live in this society as a Portuguese person, we get really good actual authentic Portuguese perspectives from and they happen to be business owners as well, so that's an angle that they bring to the conversation. And any questions about starting a business or the insurance world, we can ask those of Nuno and Raquel this morning. Oh, that's not what I wanted to show you, but I'll come back to that in just a moment on this matter of renewal. Then the Portuguese citizenship test question number 32 this morning. Getting through these, just another 68 to go. Which river runs through the city of Porto? I haven't said that for a while. Porto or Porto. Which river runs through that city? Is it A, the Douro River? Is it the Douro in the Porto, or the Douro in the Porto, or is it the Tagus, or is it the Mondego? Good guess, Virginia. In there real nice and early. She's chosen the right answer. Let me put the link to that for you as well. We'll just dwell on yesterday's question. Thank you to everybody who rocked up to have a go at that one. Oh, he's actually running out of rust to remove. You need to move nearer to the coast. Matty, your metalwork will get a bit more rusty over here. Cola, yes, rust remover. And yes, all the time, and it works like a charm. My goodness, what does it do to your insides? Much prefer Compile, personally, healthy fruit juice with added sugar, I think, on occasion. My girlfriend is addicted to that stuff, so I always have enough of the rust remover in the house. You'd think you'd be sweet enough for her without her needing an extra sweet drink there, Matty. Drain cleaner, just drop a few Mentos and cover with cola. You've actually done that, Tito. So yes, he's running out of rust to remove. If you've got any rust, send it over to Matty. And yeah, there's the link. And there's a suggestion from Adrian on that answer. But let's go back to yesterday, and we'll have a look at citizenship test question 31, which was about the sparkling wine of Portugal. What is the name of Portugal's sparkling wine? Full house here of correct votes. Espumante. Well done, Simon and Debbie. And who else was here? Michael and Kat. Oh, belated birthday wishes to you, Kat, as well. I hope you had a great time. I'm sure you did. I saw one of the cocktails that you were drinking, quaffing on just recently. So I trust you had a great birthday. And Virginia, correct answer yesterday. And by the way, a quick bit of Googling. Well, everything's AI research now, isn't it? Licoroso was one of the choices yesterday, as well as Colheita. Colheita is the harvest, isn't it? And Licoroso, it refers to a wine with a high alcohol content, basically a liqueur then, which can be achieved by adding wine spirit during fermentation or by using naturally very sweet grapes. The addition of alcohol stops fermentation, preserving the grape's natural sugar, resulting in a wine. What is it about humans and sugar? Resulting in a wine with greater sweetness and alcohol content. Well-known examples in Portugal include Porto, Madeira, Moscatel, and Carcavelos, and the addition from the Azores of Pico Liqueur. So licoroso means liqueur. You're very welcome. Now let's go to the new threads over at the Portugal Club, personal development thread, where I mentioned I'd added Dan Coe. And I think I'm going to put some Abraham Hicks on there. Who doesn't like a little bit of Abraham and Esther Hicks? I'm a support group thread then. We began with what does IMA stand for? For Bob, it was ma, or an inability to make appointments, IMA. Let's get our heads together here and share insight and hacks on moving those renewals forward and getting our updated residency cards. The big idea at the moment, of course, and you can see the video clip there of Dimitri talking about the Russian WhatsApp group, or the Russian-speaking WhatsApp group, and how they got in touch with the techies. I want to tell you this morning why today is important, October the 15th, and this gleaned from the internet, another AI search or an AI-powered search. It's slowly breathing down our necks, isn't it? How much are you feeling the presence of AI in your life, would you say, in percentage terms, or feeling it a little, feeling it a bit, or feeling it a lot, a whole lot, and feeling unnerved perhaps by it? Quite useful with information, best kept in that department, is it not? October the 15th, 2025 is today, that is, of course, deadline in Portugal for the official recognition of expired residency cards. Now, there may be further news on this that I've not seen, and something will, of course, be done at some point about this. But just to keep you in the loop of information here, 15th then today, the deadline in Portugal for the official recognition of expired residency cards, and this deadline refers to the automatic extension of validity for cards that expired between February 22 of 2020 and June the 30th of 2025. Different rules applied, did they not, from the 1st of July? And that's what the new portal was about. This extension allows these individuals to stay legally within Portugal, but is not valid for international travel. And this is where a lot of people find themselves in a most unpleasant way, really. And it's a poor show, whichever way you look at it, from IMA, who've had their challenges and troubles, of course, who seem to be getting their act together, according to Gilda, but still not enough to satisfy the concerns of many people with expired residencies or cards or processes. But it is not valid for international travel, and you must have already submitted a renewal request to have proof of lawful stay after that date. What you need to know, the temporary extension, the validity of residency permits that expired between February 22nd, 2020 and June the 30th, 2025 has been automatically extended until today. I honestly don't know what's happening as of today and hereafter. Just letting you know that we've got to that point and to be vigilant about that purpose. This extension is for the legal purposes within Portugal, underlining within, such as employment, healthcare, and accessing public services. International travel, the extension does not apply to travel outside of Portugal. The comfort letter from your lawyer can help, and coming back into Portugal shouldn't be a problem because the Portuguese officials know what the problem is. But should you fly back into a different Schengen country, it may not be the same. I'm not saying it will or won't be. I'm just saying to be aware of it. renewal process. If your card expired before July the 1st of 2025, you can submit your renewal request through the IMA portal. And there is a link here. So I will give you the link to all of this information now in case you find yourself in this situation. If your card expires after July the 1st, 2025, you should use the portal-renovações. That one, I think, particularly was the one where the Russian-speaking WhatsApp group, such a good name for a gang, a Russian-speaking WhatsApp group. I think their focus was on that. May have been on both, of course, and perhaps should be. After the deadline, after October the 15th, 2025, only those who have a valid renewal application, okay, or receipt will be considered legally in Portugal. Now, this is the anxiety-provoking thing because some people haven't managed to get very far on the website, which is intended to give you the renewal application process or a receipt. A payment receipt for the renewal will serve as proof, if you get to that stage, of your legal status for an additional 180 days after payment confirmation. So there you go. Let me put that link into the chat now. So Duro, thank you very much for that. T-Duck there. That little bit of a... I'm sorry. I sometimes laugh and then I begin to cough. The link for all of that information that I just mentioned is there for you. Duro, thank you very much. Morning, Mel. Good morning to you. How you doing? And Matty, expired residency card. I would need to have one to let it expire in the first place. Lol. Presumably you have got a residency card or a crew there, Matty. I shall not probe any further. But yeah, different for you because you are, of course, coming here as an EU citizen and not a third party, a third country, as is the case, of course, with the United States or UK, for example. Now, the IMA portal, that ray of technological light, nearly as advanced and admired as the Scottish diet. That's quite the comparison. I don't know if there's a crowdfunder to improve the Scottish diet. And maybe Scottish people don't want, going back to soda pop, Pete, maybe the Scottish people don't want, it's a free world. You live in a free world. And we are here to experiment, are we not? And face the consequences. It's a free world. It also appears to be a karmic one as well. And as you sow, so shall ye reap as well. That seems to be the lot of us human beings, right? We get to try stuff out, but we're not. Although it might seem like it at times, we're not without having to face the consequences of that. Okay, let's have Marcelo join us for a little while, given that his tenure ends, and you will see more. You will see a hotting up of the presidential race. A little bit of reporting on that yesterday. Yeah, have a crew, but no residency or citizen card. Matty, full disclosure there. Thank you very much. We hear Raquel joining us behind the scenes. She'll be with us in just a moment. So yeah, if you've got any useful information, I think Bob pointed out to me my own website problem there and a broken link. However, unlike the official websites that we've just spoken about, I fixed that within minutes of him reporting it to me. But to be fair, I don't have 700,000 people knocking on my door trying to get their applications processed. Just one in the form of Bob. But I'm glad to have been of some assistance, and I'm hoping there with that particular link. We can indeed be of more assistance to others, and that's the link to go through there. So it's not just to find out information for yourself on how to do it, although that's fine as well. If you have been successful and you found a little loophole or a hack of any kind, or you've got good news to report, please use that link for doing the same as well. Matty doesn't need a residency card, just fava beans and a nice bottle of Chianti. Right, deep fried Mars bars, a Scottish health. Yeah, but who is again? You know, I did ask you if you use Coke to clean your stainless steel. Looks like some people did. Has anyone actually tried a deep fried Mars bar? I would, given half a chance. I don't think I'd eat it every day. Did Raquel just recoil from the screen at the very thought of? We could call it tempura chocolate if you prefer. Rather than deep fried Mars bar. Right. Let's not talk to her behind the scenes. Let's bring her on to the screen and have a chat this morning. Not for you, Raquel. Hola, bom dia.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Yeah, muito bem, obrigado. Consigo?
Também, muito obrigada. Bom
Excelente.
dia, porque é antes do almoço.
And almoço? Ah, sim. Entre almoço.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So
Bom dia.
before lunch, am I
Yes.
screaming or is the
No,
mic
no, you're
okay?
fine. Sorry, I thought
Oh,
in my mind I'd heard sort of pequeno almoço, and I thought it was breakfast
no.
time at your house, which it probably is, to be fair.
It
But yes,
is, it is. It's
you were
going to
rem-
be.
you were reminding us, weren't you, that bon dia before lunch, boa tarde after.
Right.
And to add to that, it can cause concern among Portuguese friends if you continue to say bon dia past about 2 or 3 o'clock. They become concerned for your welfare at that point, do they not?
Well, I have a funny story. I always have a funny story, one of my clients, we had the alumni meeting,
Oh yes,
I
how
think
was
it's two
that?
weeks ago. It was amazing. It was incredible. I never thought that, first of all, that so many people would show up. But then that it would be exactly what I had envisioned, which was a relatively small group. It was around 25, 30 people, where everybody really got to speak to one another.
Well
So
done on that,
it
though. That's
wasn't just it was really great. Then we had a round table where I had two clients, really just to showcase their specific businesses and how was their experience here. Their experiences coming to Portugal and creating their companies, so that people can see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It is possible, and they were completely different businesses. Two of them are performers. One of them is office centers, so completely different businesses. But the funny story is one of other client, because I invited a lot of clients, told me, you know what, that post that you posted about, before having lunch, it's good, bon dia, and after is boa tarde, made me gain pastéis de bacalhau. And I was like, how? Well, because I was going, I was walking and in my neighborhood, and my neighbor said, "Olá, bom dia." No, "Olá, boa tarde." And I was, no, bom dia, because I haven't had lunch yet. And she was, "Oh no, it's too late. You have to eat something. Come on in." And she just prepared me like a bunch of pastéis de bacalhau. And
that
so he went home with pastéis de bacalhau.
yes, and it's worth knowing this convention,
And
isn't
so
it?
it is. So it's actually worth technically pastéis de bacalhau right now.
Yeah,
That's the quote.
yeah, brilliant. So remember that. Unless you want a free lunch, then you could just claim
Then you can always say, "Oh, no, it's good morning. No, I
yes,
still have. I'm
bom
really
dia.
hungry.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, yeah. You
starting
will
to
be
get
looked after.
tired."
Food is love here in Portugal, and
Really is.
did I see you visibly recoil from the idea of a deep fried Mars bar?
He did. And I love chocolate, and I especially love Mars. But deep fried,
Tempura. Come on, let's not
right? Tempura.
make it
You
sound.
know that tempura came from the Portuguese, right? Tempura is
I
not a
know.
Japanese thing.
Yes, Portuguese and food mention number two. Of
Okay,
course,
and we
let's
still
say that.
didn't remember to do that to chocolate. So no, not a good
It's only,
idea.
it's only a matter of time. And the deep fried pastel de nata, of course, which I suspect is there's be a
Well,
Portuguese cafe in Glasgow that does that. So we'll keep an eye out for that.
we'll
It's
forgive them.
well, it's blown over. The pastel de nata pizza is blown over, thankfully.
Oh,
But that might be the next thing to happen. And talking of alumni, thank you so much. May I thank you publicly, Raquel? Me and
oh,
Mrs. M now join those ranks of people who have struggled with the process of yes, we have struggled with incorporating starting a business and
Jesus
LPA.
Christ. I almost almost slipped out an F in between those words.
You did, but it would have summed up adequately the
Yes,
frustration we
you
felt.
are my worst case scenario,
Thank you,
and
thank you.
you're welcome. I've mentioned, not naming you, of course, now everybody publicly knows, but naming you as the toughest case that I ever had. Like, perfect storm of everything going haywire and proverbial cocoa hitting the fan, you know, where
We get
I'm
the picture.
like
We get the picture.
out
Yes,
of ideas, out of, and it's not usually, I'm like, I always get creative. If it's not one way, we'll go the other and the other and the other. And I was just baffled. Like I was like the planets are not aligning for this. I'm fighting the universe. This is not fair. It's just one of me. And finally, once the universe actually aligned, it was so simple. It was that simple.
Very fitting and appropriate for an astrologer, and not only an astrologer, but a red-haired astrologer. Now, there is a connection here, isn't there? You sent us what we decided to do, basically, so everybody knows. We were going to go for Good Morning Portugal directly, and that appeared. I mean, choosing your own name, I think, seems to be a little bit of a problem. There might have been other things, but we'll never know. I don't think we'll ever know. It's a bit like the Portuguese blackout. We're never really going to know how it happened. It was a business blackout for us. Yeah. And then you had the great idea of like, well, let's just start again. There's no point just banging our heads against the brick wall here. And we were sent the list of names to choose from. So for anyone thinking about starting a business, that probably is the easiest thing to do, right? Is get the list of official names, pick 3, and then you expedite the final name. And that's what happened. We were sent a fabulous list. We laughed. We sat up in bed reading through these names so that we could. And I was laughing with Bobby O'Reilly about it. I think he's got Electric Flamingo or something.
That's so cool.
I don't know if it's him or he trades with somebody under that name. But the names are hilarious. And we, from that long list of 8 pages of names, I think, we chose Indelible Ginger, obviously, Sol Imaginado, the imaginary sun, is that? Sol Imaginado, which is good. We've got a kid called Sol. And Sacred Frequency. Yeah, baby, that was very cosmic as well, wasn't it? Sacred Frequency. Although, I mean, that might have been a bit embarrassing when you're giving your NIF number in the restaurant and they see you've got a sacred frequency on your lunch card or whatever.
They will give you the lunch for free right there.
They might do, actually, mightn't they? Yeah, hoping for a Reiki blessing or something like that. But it came back. I was hoping that it would be Indelible Ginger, and by Jove, it is. So yes, there you go. Chef's kiss, plume de ma tante. We are now trading as we will be very soon.
Magnificent.
Thank you, Raquel, for making
Magnificent.
that. And great to hear you've got these 25 or 30 people from your bigger community of people who you've helped who are your alumni.
It was a tiny, very private get-together. I only invited a specific group of people. Well, you were, but you didn't come. But I forgive you because you were away.
Sorry.
But
I mean, there should be more, right? I would love.
There should be more. Yes.
Yeah.
It was great because it was actually like as if I had managed and organized that really well. I didn't. Like 2 days before I booked the place, that it was that chaotic. Only 2 days before did I have the place to do this at. And you know, I'm terrible at organizing stuff. I'm terrible at doing all kinds of stuff. And so it was just me doing this, and of course bad work. And so but actually it flowed really well. So people started coming in. There was those 2 clients that are performers in, oh man, how those big legs, wooden legs where they walk, stints.
Stilts,
marvelously, you know, with great costumes, golden and red costumes. I was in gold and red, and we hadn't talked about anything, so I matched. There was this giant giraffe. Everything was like jungle, and people started immediately mingling. And then there was the round table, and then some more networking. You know. Beverages going on, which is always nice. Obviously. And it really it got to a time like it was supposed to be from 6 to 8. At 9:30 or something, I was like, I'm sorry guys, I have to go, like I have kids at home. Because everybody just kept there and talking. And it was good because I specifically talked to each one about each other's company. So I presented this person to this person because they had a specific business that it would make sense to join. And what I am planning now is I'm going to have an app soon. And in that app, what I'm going to do is create the Lighthouse Club. So it's
Oh,
not a
sign me
WhatsApp
up.
group because it's those are crazy. I can't handle the notifications anymore. But it's going to be a very exclusive group, invitation only. So only I can put people there. There's going to be like a directory of people that are there,
Cool.
and people can connect through there. So you don't have to be publicly, asking for contacts or this or that. You
Great
can
idea.
just be there. But of course, the people that are there are very specific and very trustworthy to me, and so I really want them to do their business. But I just don't want to be involved. I mean, I want people to go their own merry ways without me always, controlling what
Get it?
they're communicating or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah, and then you get that cross fertilization of
Yeah.
business. Sign me up. I was going to ask you actually if you had a WhatsApp group for all the businesses you work with. That
I
sounds
don't. This is how I'm going to do it.
sounds amazing. Think about school. Use the school platform. That could work
Mm.
for you on there. So yes, I can't wait to be a member of that. And
You
just to
will.
check before Nuno joins us, stilt walkers and giraffes. These are some of the businesses you've been helping to create here in Portugal.
Well, not the giraffe. Giraffe was just a dummy that was there.
Oh, happened to be in.
But still, well, yes.
Oh, that's fine then. It just happens to be a giraffe in a restaurant. That's fine. Okay. Yeah.
As it usually is.
Yes.
Do you not have a giraffe in every restaurant? I
I
don't know.
don't. No, we don't have that yet in San Martin.
That's strange.
Yes.
So they're performers. It's Nicole and AJ, and I've publicized them in my social media a lot. And now I'm having a great blank about their Oniric Talent.
Right.
And so if you can look them up, Oniric Talent, they do a bunch of other stuff. They're artists, they're actors, they do aerial yoga, they
Seriously?
walk on
My
stage,
goodness.
they do body painting. I mean, Nicole won contests in body painting, so they're just wonderful. And beside all that, they are wonderful people. They are the
They're like
most
great fun.
amazing
You
people.
need them at a party, don't you? They're the people.
Yes, and they're bringing other artists. Now they're bringing I've also created Taiko School of Porto, which are Japanese drums.
No
So
way.
they're bringing more artists.
Taiko's amazing. When you hear a taiko,
Do you know that?
I do. Where I worked before I came to Portugal in the UK, there was a taiko school, and so
Well, there's one in Porto now,
really,
created by Lighthouse Consulting
how
and
amazing!
Jason Seymour. So
Really, you are attracting
yes,
some incredible clients and bringing some incredible cultural uplift
yeah.
to Portugal here. And I'm sure there are some very straightforward businesses as well in amongst your
Yeah.
alumni and in the
Yes,
in your community.
consultancies and real estates,
Yeah,
and
amazing.
there's one very interesting, which is the one that got the pastéis de bacalhau, which is home inspection, which is very needed.
Yeah.
And funny enough, there are not a lot of Portuguese doing that, if any.
Right. Good to
So-
know. Good to know. Let's bring Nuno on to join us. Sorry to keep you waiting, Nuno. Let's give a nice big round of applause. No, not at all. Not at all. It's me, not you. Right, here he is. Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Hello,
I just can't
hello.
shut up.
Good morning, everyone.
No, Raquel, don't worry. It's absolutely fine. As soon as we get chatting, I thought, oh, look, Nuno's here. And he's been there. He's been waiting there. And who knew we were going to talk about giraffes and taiko drums and bacalhau for people who the other person thinks they haven't had lunch yet. Nuno, it looks like a beautiful morning in Lisboa this morning. The sunshine is coming through beautifully.
Yes, it is. It's still summer. It looks like autumn or winter will not come. So what I think that will happen is that suddenly we'll change from summertime to wintertime.
You know when, Nuno? Exactly the day before my birthday. It happens every single year. My birthday is at the 25th, and by the 24th, all my hope goes.
Oh, I didn't realize there was like
every year.
The Dia de San Raquel, like
but on reverse.
That's it.
Right, okay. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Pencil that in. I might put that on our Portugal Club diary then, so you know exactly when to get out the thermals and the extra layers
Yeah.
and your gilets. But for the time being, you know, I think the beautiful autumnal sunshine, although let's call it summer sunshine, is still happening there in Lisboa. And your mayor, your city leader, Carlos Moedas. I think we should talk about the elections a little bit from last Sunday. He's managed to hang on in there, hasn't he? How do you both feel, generally speaking, about the election results that have come through from Sunday? Can I start with you, Nuno, on that? Any surprises for you?
No, it surprised me at
Okay.
all, at
Right.
all. But I don't give much attention to that, honestly.
Interesting.
Honestly.
Interesting. I get too excited about it, don't I?
Yes. But
Yeah.
it
We've
just
just
don't.
been here longer. That's
I
all.
know, I know. Yeah, I remember the time when I was sending messages around to Portuguese friends. Have you seen what's happened? And this was I think one of the times Antonio Costa quit, and it was like, no, why? What's happened? And I said, yeah, you know, he's resigned. He's resigned. Do I need to do a live stream? Do we need what's going to happen? And they said, oh no, I hadn't heard of that. But don't worry, it's all stuff like that. It's always like no one cared. Nobody cared
No,
about
no,
this.
nobody
It's
cares.
fine.
Honestly.
It's fine.
So nothing for you in that then, Nuno. You don't. It's not a biggie.
Yeah, honestly, I was expecting these results. I have
Okay.
some doubts about Chega, but I think that Chega is more strong when we talk nationally,
Yeah.
because Ventura actually is the face
Yes.
of the party. Otherwise, we are talking about local power, so people that is known locally, and they are not so strong.
No. Okay. All right. So no big surprises or bother for you then, Nuno. What about you,
No, no,
Raquel?
no, no, at all, at all.
The only bother was having to come a bit earlier. I was in Avish. It's the most wonderful place I've ever seen. We were at Parque Campismo. It was completely empty, so it was perfection. So that was the only bothersome thing about the elections, because we came in time to vote. I actually was a bit surprised at the results of Chega. I thought they would go bigger, although Nuno is exactly right. You know, it's a completely different election. Local election is completely different from national elections or presidentials. But I still was kind of afraid of the same proportion of results than we had in the previous ones. But no, apparently no, it was much balanced. So yay.
You know what was very impressive is that all the parties say that they won the election.
Oh, how surprising.
Amazing.
That never happens.
That's hilarious.
That never happens.
Everyone's a winner. How lovely. Everyone got a
Yeah.
participation.
How creative can they be every time that they find a way to say that they are the winners in some
This
way?
is what I need. This is what we need as a community, to have Portuguese people talking about this.
Positive thinking.
And take away our naivety as foreigners here. Thank you very much for that bit of cynicism this morning. What was encouraging locally in my town was a guy who'd run a bar here for 30 years. And, you know, he's very well loved in the town. He decided to step forward as an independent. And it seemed like quite a few people were liking the idea that a business person was stepping forward with a little bit more understanding of the sort of commercial demands of running a town.
Oh, really?
I thought that was quite a good move. He came third, as it turned out. However, and it was, I guess, in the way that you say, Nuno, it was a win because he will now be collaborating. He's come to the attention of the PSD who did win locally, but they're going to collaborate, and that's the beauty of the local politics, isn't it? He doesn't have to go and disappear for another 4 years or whatever. He can work closely with the new governor, or it's the same president who stayed in power, but he's put that on the agenda. that's come to the attention of local people that it might be interesting to have businesses a bit more represented, a bit more, focus on economic growth in the town. Is that a normal thing across the country? Is that happening? Are we seeing more of this entrepreneurial spirit that we often talk about on the show here?
I think that we have a very different and a huge scope of realities among the country.
Yeah.
It is really different. So yes, in some locations, they try to involve younger entrepreneurs. Also regarding expats, they start looking to the expats as a group of people that they want to have on their locations.
Yeah.
Not all kind of expats. Let me say also this, okay? So it depends on the kind of expats, but yes, they start looking locally and try to get advantage to the strongest points that each location has.
Yes. Well, I got sought out. I ended up having my photo in a political manifesto as well. So those guys are pretty smart, I thought, to reach out in that way. And Pete, of course, as well, who's saying our lovely new party got double the votes of Shirin Funda. The local community know who works for them. So yeah, Pete's involved in local politics. So that's definitely proving what you're saying there, Nuno. And it depends, of course, as you also say, how things are around the country and what people's particular focus is. João F, look at him, he's here. Bom dia to you. Tudo bem? Como está? João F, good morning, everybody, as well. And in Coimbra, Chega got its first vereadora elected, 49-year-old social work graduate and social assistant. This is like a biog for Maria Lancestra, Portugal, who wants more trees and outskirts buses. Well, fair enough. We can go with that. Trees and buses. That sounds like a good idea for sure. Yes, I wonder what are the other parts of the manifesto for her. Okay, so not much to talk about then when it comes to the elections. I think we can safely move on. And I would like to ask your opinion about the viability of something that's come up via this channel. I would like to say we spoke to a Russian-Israeli titanium bike maker twice in the last week. And the reason we did that for the second time is because he was in a Russian-speaking WhatsApp group where he found out that some of the folks in that group were having their renewals with IMA delayed. And they decided, instead of moaning about it or being victims of the situation, they decided to track the techies of IMA down, the contractors who are building the website, and they found them on LinkedIn and they approached them directly to have their details put into the website and suggest fixes for the bugs on that website, which has led us to think, why don't we crowdfund for a better IMA website? As foreigners, right? There's a lot of foreigners waiting and frustrated if they all put in 10, 20, 50 euros for a better website. Dimitri said, I would put in 1,000 now if I thought it was going to improve the website. What would be the viability of that? If only it embarrasses the government a little bit. Raquel, what do you think of our idea of us foreigners crowdfunding for a better website so we can get our application sped up?
Oh, so it's not. Don't know who sneezed. It's not just that. It's the people. Okay, you fix the website, and then the people behind it. The technicians
Fix the people.
work. Okay. How are you going? Because I always remember there's this Disney movie or whatever with a sloth that works in public administration that goes like this.
Yes.
Like pressing the keyboards. And so I always have that image in mind when we talk about public administration in Portugal. And it's like after, 10 minutes, you have a word in. And though I made an error and then delete for half an hour and try again. So the website, fantastic. But then how about the technicians that are working, that are still printing out everything and every paperwork and still having dossiers of stuff, and dealing with the processes, because it's not automated. That's the thing. It's not automated. If it was, it would be a great thing to fix the website, because then you'd fix the front line and the back end, right? But
Yes.
in this case, that's just the front end. So the back end, the backstage, there's technicians, people working poorly, and too little people working. But they still need. The website is just a channel. It's just like an email. It's just a channel. So it doesn't deal with anything. It's just a channel to a vehicle to get information in. So if it's better, it floods even more the services. So I'm not sure that.
Okay, that's a little bit of cold water on our idea there. I want to come back to you on this idea of how the website works or doesn't, in brackets. Nuno, what do you think of the foreigners crowdfunding for an improved website to just make sure everything happens a little bit faster and more efficiently?
Yeah, yes. At the first sight, it looks a good idea, but as Raquel said, if there is among the process, a struggle at some point, the website, it's only a channel, so it will not be a solution, I believe.
Okay. Well, then my second
Not
question,
for me.
or my horror at hearing you speak in this way, both of you, and my realization this morning is that on the one hand, a modern website could be AI powered, and it could be a live database taking in information, and it could even have some decision making agency, which is what you'd expect from a modern website. I expect this sort of thing happens in the insurance business, Nuno. But are you telling me, and this is, I think, probably the case, that the website is merely a way of collecting information if it works at all, people do put their information in, and are there people behind the scenes opening up the website and writing that information down that's coming on the website and then putting it in an in tray and processing it? You're nodding, Raquel. Is that what's actually happening here?
Oh, sorry. It was naturally. Yes, I'm nodding. Of course, Nuno knows this. Every Portuguese person knows this.
So
Yeah.
even though there is the potential of digital collation of information, when it gets to the person it's meant to be, if it gets to the person it's going to, they're going to write it out on a paper form that they've been using for the last 300 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
Basically,
printer issues, then paper issues, then paper jams, then.
Basically, Carl, is the same as having an EV that charge full the battery in, let's say, 20 minutes, but because you don't have enough power behind the scenes, you only can charge you need to charge for 24 hours or so. So it's the same idea.
Okay, all right. So, and I've probably asked you this before, but could we be poised on any change or transformation with that? On the one hand, you're reading in the Portuguese press that AI is going to, threaten people's jobs. Not those, by the sound of it.
I would hope so. I would hope that it would not threat, but wipe out. To be honest,
She's so frustrated.
those
Right.
because the decision. This is going to sound really bad, but the decision making would probably be better if it was automated than if it was dependent on people. And there are certain things, that's why the judicial court system is separated from supposedly one person, so separated from the emotions of one person, okay, because it has to be impartial. And this should be the same thing. When you get to the hands of someone, and that someone has the power to decide either or, and not according to defined standards, that's where you get differences. That's where you get makes these asymmetries or whatever. So people get treated in different ways. So if you could in some way automate the decision making all through the end, you have this document, yes, let's check out the basis of this document, see if it's legit. Yes, okay, move on. This document, do you have one? Yes. All of these decision trees automate it, then at the end you have all the documents. Yes, you have the money that you need in the bank. Yes. Okay, stamped. There's no decision there. If there's everything that you need according to the law, there shouldn't be any decision. But you get to a certain person that's irritated or annoyed at the time, and they will just stop the freaking process. It reminds me of the oral exams in college. It would completely depend on the state of mind of that certain person in the mood of that certain person in that certain moment. And this cannot be, because this is unfair to everybody, because some
You're
people
right.
get really lucky, and then some people get really as person that has a bad day and that wakes up in the need of showing their power through denial of other people's processes. And so I would hope that everything that could be automated, and I don't see a lot of things that would be needing analysis. Okay, there's a lot of things, everything is really defined in the law.
Yeah.
And if you, at the end of the, at the bottom of this bottleneck, you've had a team of lawyers, a team of technicians to think about the weird cases and the particulars of given cases, that's fine. But I will bet that 95% is really just plain vanilla. So they either have it or they don't. So it's either 0 or 1. So it's very binary. So it could be completely replaced by not. You have the paper from Social Security? Let's see. Oh, this picture looks bad. I can't see this photocopy really well.
Yeah,
I
the point
hear
the point is that if there are rules for that, so let's say that 90% of everything could be automated through AI or whatever, because
robotics.
It's a checkbox. Check. Okay. The remain 10%, let's say 10%, they will need human intervention, because will be situations of exceptions. So technology is to escalate and to ease processes, and this is the point.
It could happen. It could happen. And
Yes.
appeals.
Yes, of
Human
course.
beings could be there for appeals, couldn't they? And I heard of this, and we'll be hopefully talking to Valerie. She described her and her husband's renewal appointments with IMA, and it exemplifies, illustrates exactly what you're talking about, Raquel. The husband, I don't know, it was maybe something to do with the office and the time of day or whatever. He went in, yeah, looks good, rubber stamp, bang, finished very, very quickly. She had someone who was a little bit like you were describing, that caricature of the person exercising a little bit of personal power and emotion in their role. Hold on a minute. This name doesn't have a hyphen on it. Your double-barreled name is doesn't have a hyphen here. It does here. And kind of just sat there, I suspect, waiting for an answer. And it went on and on. And by the end of it, and Valerie was so good, and she might tell this story tomorrow night on the because we're doing a sort of first person testimony of life here in Portugal, and this of course is part of it. And she may tell this story tomorrow. Husband's was minutes, hers was going on for I think an hour or so, of checking this, checking that. I need to see this, I need to see that, and apparently at the end of it, he looked at her and said, "You did very well." Like with a knowing smile, like you passed my test here.
My resistance test.
And apparently he'd seen in one of her sort of CV things, you're an HR professional. You know why I have to be as strict as this, don't you? It's like, ooh, blood running cold. And she said at the end, I did do well. And I think that was very excessive when it was safe to do so. But it can't be right, can it? If you've got one that just is minutes, and then the other one is the hour, and it goes into all that personal power play that you're talking about there. So a vision there, possibly use the AI where it could be useful. Use the digital, the machines where they could be useful. Get the humans in for the bit that it's necessary, and maybe for appeals and so on. But it doesn't look like that'll be happening anytime soon, Raquel. No. Okay.
I always say when people have to go to any public administration. Sorry, it's my 5-year-old. It's my 5-month-old lab that always wants to intervene whenever I have a meeting.
Oh, hello.
And I use this now. She's just going around, the zoomies. She's going around the house. If you see a dog like jumping here, it's her. It's really a psychological game. While you're waiting, you should always, and in this case, it's really hard because I have the clients that I'm going to the IMA appointment this week, and one is at 2:00 in Santarém, and one is at 2:00 in Lisbon. They're a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. So this makes this much sense. But when you're going together, if you're a couple, a woman and a man, watch closely who eventually will get your process. If it's a woman, the man should approach the woman and the whole process. And I'm saying this, hating that I'm saying this, but it is the complete truth. If it's a woman, the man has to go forward because they're naturally inclined to be more open to a man coming over. If it's a man, the woman should come over. And I've used this once in the tax office.
Yeah.
I actually let someone pass my turn because my turn was a woman. And I said, no, you can go. That's fine. I still need to see something.
Gaming
then it was a man. And I was even as diabolic as bringing my young daughter with me, and it was a man, and I was like, this is our chance, because I had to show like some papers or whatever. And as soon as I got there, I was like, and I knew that everything was fine. Oh, your kid is so cute. And I was like, oh, I know, right? And I knew I had it in the bank. If it was with that woman, she would say, what is this child doing here with you? Why isn't she at school? Or, something like that. Okay. So I know it's terrible, it's horrible, but it is the reality. So try to use it to your benefit.
Well, human nature, still very much a part of these interactions then.
Yep.
Okay, we have...
Sorry.
Carry on.
Raquel, you were very lucky not be assisted through an AI, because your woman power
would be wiped. See? Yeah. But I prefer not to use this power, mind you. I prefer not to have these mind games, right? I prefer things to be more objective.
But with the way things are, I imagine that will persist, generally speaking. Here's the problem. On one hand, crowdfunding an official department may be considered corruption. Yes, I can see that. And on the other hand, we have to consider that none of us really actually knows according to which criteria. That sounds deeply bureaucratic and right, I'm sure. Okay, we have an insurance inquiry. If we could close on this morning from T-Duck. Tycho, though, first. I've got a few starred comments to share with you before you go, both of you. Busy people, so we won't keep you much past 9 o'clock this morning. Perfect for village festas, the Tycho. I can hear the sound of Tycho traveling the country and opening up festas. Once went to a Tycho drumming concert about 15 years ago. Amazing! So there are a few Tycho fans here. Mr. S says, bonjour, vejam Raquel e Nuno. Bem-aja, Raquel, por trazer a realidade aos que acreditam em contos de fados. So for those of us who believe in fairy tales, they're delighted that you're
all comments should be now in Portuguese so that Carl has to read them in Portuguese.
How did I do? Muito obrigado. The website is the only option with renewals other than hiring an attorney. Yep. And Bon Madalena, I sent an email to insurance. My MGen renewal is up 20% again this year. I would like to see a lower cost option. Madalena is here. She's all over it. Good morning to you. It was great to see you, Madalena, and you, Nuno, of course, and Gonzalo at the meetup over the weekend. What can we do about this? $500 a month, a lot to pay for something we haven't used. I guess that's the way health insurance works. Hopefully you don't have to use it. But these premiums are getting bigger, Nuno. Are there going to be some lower cost options for people?
Yeah, there are always lower options.
Yep.
And the lower one is don't have an insurance. So
Yes, there is. Yes.
So it's about protection. What we know in this case, it's about a specific insurer that is a mutual. So they don't have profits, okay? They don't have shareholders to pay dividends to. And this means, and we know because we work closely with them, we know that the rate, the insurance premium, is adjusted to each age. So yes, I could be in good health and don't never use the insurance policy, and I hope never use any insurance policy. Okay, uh, but everyone from my age, some are having expenses that increase my insurance premium. What I really also know is that if suddenly I need the insurance, the insurance policy will be here for me. Okay, and I could be paying for 10 years, and suddenly I need 60,000 euros, 90,000 euros, or an oncology disease that could request much more than that. So it's the world of insurance is based on the big numbers.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, but there are, suffice to say, the team will get back to you, T Duck, and there are
Yes.
there are lower
Yes,
cost
Randy.
options for you. Anyway, just another comment and a final a real hoot from Mel. Anyway, I do not trust a system entirely dependent on AI. I don't think that's ever going to happen, Joao. Is it perhaps choosing the right people for the job? Hey, there's a thing. Both in quality and quantity would be the way to deal with it. That's novel. Sorry for my clumsy writing. I'm doing it from my smartphone. You're doing a great job, and it's great to see you here this morning, Joao F. I don't agree. A bureaucratic mainframe targeting and resources problem. They need to be embarrassed into action. As an ex-bureaucrat, lawyer, and politician's letters, that equals top priority. So lawyers' letters and politicians' letters, that will be a way of dealing with it. Thank you, Nuno from T-Duck. And finally, sorry, not finally. Can I just give a shout out for our insurance who have been very good at paying out for recent operation and say what outstanding value it is compared to the UK and US? Yes, indeed, there is still that. And thanks to you, Bob, for being here this morning. Good discussion. Thank you. This is hilarious. My ex-Portuguese partner told me, in relating to what you're saying, Raquel, that some even borrow the children of friends to help garner kindness in government departments. Next time you're on, can we have some more of these life hacks that the Portuguese do that we don't know about? Is that a deal?
I don't know.
Borrowing children for government appointments. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'm going to have the police at my door anytime soon.
No, we can say allegedly this is what some Portuguese people do. We've heard of this happening. Right. Okay. Well, thank you both. Excellent value this morning. A few giggles in there as well. Have a great month. And thanks again, Raquel, for your excellent service helping us start up our Portuguese company.
No worries.
And Nuno, great to see you. Thanks for the flowers on Saturday evening. Our babysitters were delighted to receive Gerbera when we got home. So great to see you, mate. And we'll see you both soon. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, everyone.
And ciao, ciao. Bon dia.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to